What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
I can tell you I don't have money, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy, and we're back with another Diablo 3 Season 36 build-up video. Very excited to say Maxwell have updated their seasonal tier lists for us, which is very, very handy. So we can get a bit of an idea as to what is going to be the most powerful builds. We're going to go through them quite quickly. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because obviously the material is there for you online if you want to go find it. I'm just going to pick out a few things that are interesting and comment a little bit from playing Season 30 a couple of years ago. I didn't put tons into the season, but I do have some interesting thoughts on the solo XP list because I've had a bit of a flick through. If that sounds good, guys, a thumbs up brightens my day. So I guess we'll start off with solo pushing. It's no real surprise the Nova builds are going to show up here. Soul Shards are extremely powerful, so you will get 150s done probably with every single build in the game because they just add so much. So like here, Essence of Anguish, obviously this is like your Inarius Necro Nova. It's got the biggest modifier probably I think that the Necro's got access to, so you know, in terms of raw damage output it's going to be pretty good. Aquila to try and stay alive, Esoteric to try and stay alive. But every time we deal poison damage, because the way these Soul Shards work is they drop in the game, you've got to find your Hellforge Embers, you upgrade them, you get a base ability, and then you upgrade them. Like there's 3 levels to unlock, and you can get extra physical damage, crit damage, damage against elites on this weapon that we've got here. But when we deal poison damage, we increase cooldown reduction and move speed by 2.5%. But damage received is increased by 5% for 10 seconds, stacks up to 10 times. But when we deal poison damage to an enemy, they receive 50% increased poison damage from all sources for 10 seconds. The weapon's got poison damage on it as its primary role, and that does allow us to hit like a truck. Now, I didn't do much pushing in Season 30, shocker, I know. Sliver of Terror is being used here with the devastating Ring of Fire. I'm guessing the Ring of Fire must actually do some kind of damage to elites, and that's kind of like that kind of mechanic. But ultimately, you're getting a load of extra damage because cooldowns are increased by 25%. For every skill on cooldown, we take damage reduction and deal increased damage. So obviously, you're going to have Simulacrum on cooldown. You're going to have Bone Armor on cooldown at certain times. I didn't build an RS this particular season, but it's going to be very similar across them. Now, the whole thing, Blood Type Blade, does like 4,000% damage. You're fishing for conduit pylons, fishing for conduit for the boss, or at least a pylon spawn for the boss. Not conduit, probably a power pylon for the boss. But it's always going to be powerful. Now, we know that we're going to get seasons in the future that have got like Open Cube and Fourth Cube, and the Nova builds are really going to shine then. Necro is really going to shine then. So even though they are like top of this list here, I wouldn't necessarily be adverse to going off and doing something else that isn't quite as strong in other seasons. Rathma, I think when we did the PTR for Season 30, was actually the fastest 150 by a mile. Again, just using this like Essence of Anguish, Sliver of Terror combination. But we will get onto that in the season. Lovely to see the LOD Hosa getting in here. Now, not all of the build guides have been fully updated yet, so this one hasn't. As an example, they're kind of doing them as they go. I'm going to be starting Necro, so I will have some Necro videos next season. I'm going to make a Barb because I think Savage is pretty strong in this season, like sneaking its way up into A tier. Natalia's, again, always very strong, really strong build, all for the Demon Hunter always. This one has been updated, so we've got the Essence of Anguish, and we've actually got the Shard of Hatred in this one. Again, this is like, you deal 15% reduced damage whilst you've got 3 or fewer enemies within 25 yards. If more than 3 enemies in the same distance, we get like a damage boost, so obviously you can kind of guess how that's going to work. We deal 10% increased damage instead of 5%, if you get the correct unlock on your uploads. But Nats, we know, is always powerful. Couple of interesting Crusader builds. Lawn Bombardment becomes really, really powerful in this season. I wanted to say that it was because Thorns can crit this season, so I think you're supposed to take the Remnant of Pain here, which allows for the enemies to be crit, I want to say. Maybe it can't. Maybe I'm wrong on that. And let's just have a quick look at the Thorns build. So that is working on that. So yeah, maybe the bombardment doesn't work on the Thorns. I thought it did. Maybe it doesn't. But this is why the Invoker is powerful, because you can actually get crits on Thorns, which is, you know, interesting. So you can roll some crits damage, which is nice. But it's nice to see Lawn Bombardment up here. I think we've also got Lord Bless Shield as well, and Khan Condemn Crusaders. You've got 4 builds for Crusaders to pick through. In B tier, I think we've got, I don't know, end of A tier, we've got the AOV Fist of the Heavens build. This is really good for speeds. Again, we'll talk about solar speeds very, very briefly in a sec. But yeah, Crusader going to be very popular. Again, I'm going to make some videos. Raykor is usually the Barb's best push build. So again, it's up there in S tier. Lord Wave of Light is always very, very strong. Usually requires a bit of Paragon to get behind it. But any build that uses a pet is going to be using the Drag of Lies. That's going to be very powerful as the damage like stacks up. So you deal 25% less damage. Your character, you don't care. Pets are doing you damage in this build. They deal 25% increased damage. So that's like a pretty big deal. Then when your pets hit an enemy, damage is increased by 0.5 for 5 seconds, stacking up to 100 stacks. So obviously that's pretty tasty in terms of damage. And again, Sliver of Terror, Devastating Ring of Fire, again, which must be used for melting elites at a certain point. Tempest Rush benefits quite a lot from season theme. Again, this is one I haven't played for quite some time, so I'm looking forward to maybe making this. Again, it's going to be relying on the poison damage. Now, you can proc this with the follower. Again, this is like basically doing the death blow that ricochets out. So the idea with POG is you get like these big massive explosions. So I'm guessing that once it kills something, it explodes again, basically, which is pretty nice. Sliver of Terror, Devastating Ring of Fire again. But I'm looking forward to playing that. And then Wizard actually shows up with basically 3 versions of Meteor, Bazooka, LOD, Talrasha, and Firebirds. So again, pretty strong. So that's not too bad, because we've got one for the Necro, we've got a Demon Hunter build, we've got Barb, we've got Crusader, we've got Monk, we've got Wizard. So really, it's only Mr. Witch Doctor who's being left out. And I say it a lot, nobody plays Witch Doctor, but it just is what it is. Leapquake, Seismic Slam, nice to see these get up towards the top of A tier. Same with Frenzy, Whirlwind, Shadow getting a nice kick out of the season theme, Marauders. Generator Raiment, don't like. UE, again, pretty strong this season by the looks of it. Again, just looking to do that like poison from all sources. Weapons with poison native damage rolls can be very important. You want to look out for those. And again, Devastating Ring of Fire. You can play anything this season, guys. It is going to be really, really powerful. I think ultimately Witch Doctor's probably going to be your last choice, just simply because it doesn't have an S tier build. Zuni's is generally squishy. Mundanugu's is fiddly and pain to play. Arakir and Jade, I mean, they're all kind of about much of a muchness. I prefer Mundanugu personally for speed farming, but I haven't done much pushing with any of them. Sweep getting a nice buff. This normally sucks, so that's quite good to see that in A tier. Yeah, Mystic Ally again, it gets quite a lot of the season theme because it's normally pretty weak, but with the bit getting this like massive pet damage, it is nice to see that kind of like kicking up. Even good old Veers gets a reverse Archon cheese build. They haven't updated that one, but I'm not going to touch that with a barge pole, I don't think. Fiddly to play. IK Hota, IK Charge, Uliana, Pestilence. Yeah, there's a few bits in here in beta. As I say, you can do whatever you want. Like these will be 150, super easy. These will be 150 with kind of more Paragon investment. and these will be 150 with even more Paragon, but I suspect that like everything will be 150s across the board. Let's have a little look at the solo XP list. Now, this is basically suggesting that you want to make a Demon Hunter. Obviously, we've done the 1 to 70 playthrough. Restart Necker and jump on DH. Natalia's, as we showed in our starter video for the Demon Hunter, is quick into T16, but you've got your choice of build that you can gear off into. Gears of Dreadlands, UE Multishot, or Shadow Impale. Now, personally, on Season 30, I found the Aegis of Valor Crusader to be the best. It runs out of steam to a certain point, but it was doing like 127s, 130s without, with like 1600 Paragon fully orged. I thought that was pretty good. I played quite a bit of Mystic Ally. I played quite a bit of Gears of Dreadlands. I personally thought that the Crusader was strong, so I'm a little surprised that it doesn't like make it even into A tier. Personally, it only is getting into B. They've gone for the extra Rift Orb in there, which I don't think I was using. I think I was using a different gem here. Yeah, and again, I was using the lightning damage gem in the helmet. We'll have to see. Obviously, we'll test everything once we get on there. But LOD Wave of Light does take a bit of time to get going. Shield, Bless Shield. I'm not sure how fast the clear speed on this is. I've never built this since they've buffed it. So again, I'm probably going to get that one done as well. Again, kind of a lack of Witch Doctor options, I think. Typhons should get a nice kick. Again, they haven't updated this guy, but this will be pet gem here because again, it's Hydra. Planning on making that and playing that. Like an ice cream shop, this guy's, isn't it? Spoilt for choice. Rathma is very strong, but can be a bit annoying to play. But yeah, we've got nice, good options. Demon Hunter, Monk, Crusader, Barb. I don't love Raykor for speeds, to be honest. Savage has grown on me a lot for speeds, but still, I'd say like something with like Wave Clear is probably going to be better. Inarius Death Nova, we don't have the Tragul, unfortunately. Doesn't kind of make even beat here, which is a bit sad because that is the starting set. But I still think to get you going, it's pretty good. I personally think the Traguls would give Bone Spear a run for its money, as an example. Lod Meteor, Firebirds. Yeah, there's a few options. Personally, I think the 3 builds that I played in Season 30 were pretty good. That was the AoE Fist of Heavens, the Gears of Dreadlands, and the Inner Monk. I thought all 3 were really quick, really good at grinding out those rifts in like the 90-second to 3-minute mark, depending on what difficulty you're playing, and quite a lot of fun. But super excited to play these builds, super excited to hopefully get myself up to 2k on a few accounts maybe this season and see if I can maybe pop 1 or 2 150s. I set that as my goal every single season. I fail nearly every single season because I just kind of run out of steam. I will link Max Roll. Hopefully they will continue to update these builds. Remember guys, there's nothing wrong with just going into the season and looking at the leaderboard and just seeing what other players are doing. That's always a good way to pick up some tips and advice. But overall, play it your way, whatever it is that makes you happy. I think the Soul Shards just offer such a vast amount of power that pretty much you can pick kind of anything on this list and you're going to be having yourself a very good time for a couple of weeks until Diablo 4 comes out. And hey, some people might stay after that. Right, I've been the Filthy Casual. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take it easy guys. Peace.